25 days to go until this guy wants you to vote for him and Donald Trump. Governor Mike Pence.
Governor, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to be back.
Governor, it's pretty clear that there's a lot of Republicans and others who said, I'm not going to support Donald Trump, but there's one thing that's been also pretty standard. You've always been there, especially through the rough times over the last 2 weeks. What is the truth behind this, the thought that you were wavering for a while?
Well, it's categorically false. Look, my wife and I thought through this invitation to run for Vice President of the United States, prayed through it, and we're in it to the finish. I mean, it's the greatest honor of my life to be able to run and hopefully serve as the next Vice President of the United States alongside a man in Donald Trump who I believe has a right vision for this country. Look, whatever the media is chasing after on any particular day, the truth of the matter is that 7.5 years of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's leadership has weakened America's place in the world. It's set wider areas in the Middle East literally spinning apart, and it's stifled the American economy, walked away from our most cherished constitutional principles, and the American people know we can do better. They know we can be stronger, and in Donald Trump, you've got the kind of broad-shouldered leadership that people are responding to. 19,000 people last night in Cincinnati. I'm headed down to Florida this later on today. We oversubscribed the rally, even just when it's me at the podium. There's enthusiasm out there to make America great again, and I couldn't be more honored to be standing with it.
You've definitely been busy. The recent polls are out this morning, and we've been anxious to see what they were after the debate, and it shows that Hillary Clinton is beating Donald Trump by 7 points. Here's the latest poll. She's getting 45%, and he's got 38%.
Since the last poll, she's up 1, he's down 4.
Well, look, you know, it's the old cliche, the only poll that really matters, they finish up on November the 8th.
Sure.
I think these polls have been all over the map, but I honestly think that there's something missing in the polling these days.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just, you know, I think Donald Trump has made a connection to the frustrations and the aspirations of everyday Americans like no one in my lifetime since Ronald Reagan. When you see against this avalanche, present company accepted here at Fox News, but this avalanche of negative media coverage that goes chasing after every potential negative story about Donald Trump every day, and still you see tens of thousands of people coming out and rallying. There's a determination out there across the country to change the direction in this nation. And frankly, more than 7 out of 10 Americans think that America's headed in the wrong direction, and they know it's going to take change. And I truly do believe that come Election Day, there could be a whole lot of people that are surprised in the mainstream national press about the way the American people have been willing to rise up and embrace new leadership in Donald Trump.
Also, in that poll, it shows that the independents are split. They right down the middle, half for you and half for Hillary Clinton. I heard Donald Trump yesterday. He said that these women have come forward all at the same time. It was orchestrated, that they're telling lies, that it's part of the Clinton machine. And he has said that he has vowed to release evidence to prove that they're making it up when it's appropriate.
Well, these unsubstantiated allegations that came from the New York Times and People magazine. Donald Trump yesterday publicly...
5 women.
Yeah, he's categorically denied these. And there will be more evidence coming out that supports you know, his...
That they're making it up.
What evidence is coming out?
Well, the campaign is working on bringing that information out. But the remarkable thing is, as the media goes chasing after, you know, unsubstantiated allegations, coming from a newspaper that 6 months ago, you remember, did a massive similar story that was utterly discredited by the same reporters. But at the time that many in the national media are chasing after these unsubstantiated allegations, it's remarkable to me they continue to literally ignore the hard evidence that's flowing out of Hillary Clinton's years as Secretary of State in the Clinton Foundation. I mean, whether it's a speech supporting socialized medicine in Canada, a paid speech supporting open borders in Brazil, or whether it be, I think the most concerning of all is that we learned this week that aides to the Secretary of State were directing contracts for the rebuilding of Haiti after the earthquake to friends of the Clintons. I mean, this is exactly the kind of pay-to-play politics the American people are tired of.
Perhaps the Catholic Church...
And politics is going to end when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States.
Perhaps the hit on the Catholic Church is the most devastating, you would think, because 28% of the country is Catholic, and we find out their view of the Catholic Church is medieval.
Well, the condescending statements that can only be characterized as religious bigotry, anti-Catholic, anti-evangelical. I mean, to suggest that to be an evangelical, which I am, made a decision for Christ in 1978, it was less socially acceptable than to be a Catholic, but to be Catholic was questionable in the same email. I mean, this is the kind of demeaning statements, and we've called on Hillary Clinton. We're still waiting for Hillary Clinton to denounce these statements and to apologize to people of faith.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, Donald Trump yesterday said it's no coincidence that these attacks are coming out, just as the WikiLeaks, which is, to your point, had thousands of damning email. And to your point about where's the news media, look at this. ABC last night spent 9 minutes talking about Trump and his troubles. NBC, 9 minutes, Trump and his troubles, 5 minutes at CBS. And then they talked about WikiLeaks on ABC for 20-some-odd seconds. They didn't talk about it at all over on...
30 seconds on NBC.
30 seconds, thank you very much.
The
print is really little.
26.
No mentions on NBC, and just seconds as well at CBS. Right. What is the mainstream media trying to do to you guys?
Well, I think what they're trying to do is change the subject from the failed policies of this administration that Hillary Clinton wants to continue. I mean, the truth of the matter is the rise of radical Islamic terrorism, the renewed aggression by Russia. We wake up this morning, and the Iranians who, my counterpart was just boasting of the Iranian nuclear deal. The Iranians just moved warships near Yemen, and militia in Yemen are firing missiles.
Houthi rebels.
At U.S. naval ships. Those missiles may well have been paid for by resources the United States just freed up and sent to the Iranians. I mean, the truth is that we need strong leadership on the world stage, and the American people see all of this effort by many in the national media to distract attention from the failed policies of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. What would you do? We're going to continue to focus on making America stronger at home and abroad and getting this economy moving again.
What would you do about that situation in Yemen if you were the vice president and Donald Trump were president?
Well, I think that first and foremost is we would make a commitment to rebuild the American military. I mean, the fact is that our Navy today is smaller than any time since 1916. We have the smallest standing army since the end of World War II. I mean, Ronald Reagan taught us that we can only have peace through strength, and under a Trump-Pence administration, we'll rebuild our military. We'll make sure the world knows that we are committed to be that beacon of freedom, that arsenal of democracy, and frankly, we'll work closely with our allies all across the world to advance American interests from a position of American strength.
The WikiLeaks missives do show that Hillary Clinton was making an overture towards Vladimir Putin as late as 2014. Talked about how engaging he was on issues and how important it is to have him, to possibly have him as an ally and not an enemy. What does that tell you about the approach that you guys have to Vladimir Putin? Is it that different from Hillary Clinton?
Well, of course. Well, well, no.
Private or public?
Second, the point is what this avalanche of emails about Hillary Clinton, her years as Secretary of State and the Clinton Foundation is showing to the public with 25 days to go is that there is a very different Hillary Clinton behind closed doors than there is in public. I mean, for Hillary Clinton to go to Brazil and say her dream was open borders in our hemisphere, for her to go to Canada and say that her long-term goal was to have a health care system like the Canadian system, this is another example on foreign policy. With Donald Trump, the American people know you've got someone who says what he means and means what he says. And when he becomes president, you're going to know where he stands, and it's going to be exactly where he stood throughout this campaign.
Governor, we know you got places to go, but one other question, final question about WikiLeaks, and that is some have suggested on the left that all this bad stuff about Hillary, nothing bad about Trump, that your campaign is in cahoots with WikiLeaks.
Nothing could be further from the truth. I think all of us have had concerns about WikiLeaks over the years, and it's just a reality of American life today and of life in the wider world. But it doesn't change the fact that here you see the national media chasing after unsubstantiated allegations, allegations that Donald Trump has categorically denied, and ignoring hard evidence of documented evidence of deeds by the Secretary of State, The Haitian issue is the most troubling to me of all, but this avalanche, the American people need to look at the evidence and understand that we have an opportunity to make America great again, but we've got to have new leadership, and that begins the day that Donald Trump becomes president.
Right. You're not comfortable with Donald Trump's attack on Paul Ryan, are you?
Paul Ryan is my friend, but honestly, I'd like to see Republican leaders supporting the Republican nominee for president of the United States.
Yeah.
I'm supporting all the Republican nominees in this fall's election. But what's encouraging to me is, despite the fact that some Republicans have decided to go a different direction, the overwhelming majority of leaders, the overwhelming majority of Republicans are standing with Donald Trump as the next president of the United States. But lastly, make no mistake about it, this movement is much bigger than any one political party. I see every day Republicans, independents, and many Democrats who know we can make America great again, and that's why you see the tremendous and growing momentum in this campaign.
25 days left, 7-point deficit. We'll see if you can make it up.
Thank you very much.
You can sleep in 26 days.
For an hour.